I mean, I love everything that's Japanese. Why is origami so hard? Hi everybody, it's Phili here from Create and Curate, and that is the first time I've ever said that. How exciting! We've had a bit of a rebrand on the YouTube channel and on my Instagram as well, because I was putting out content that was just around crafting and sewing, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to cling on to my niche and I'm going to go for it, because actually it's the only really thing that I like talking about. I mean, I love being cheap and I love finding a bargain, but I didn't really have as much to say about it because all you guys are really good at finding bargains and really good at being frugal as well. However, I thought that maybe it would be better if I just focused on sewing and crafting and everything else and making something out of nothing. So I'm really good at making something out of nothing. So here is Create and Curate. I've also actually started a TikTok as well. TikTok account, are they called? I'm really good at it, as you can tell. And my second video was already taken down by TikTok because of, for whatever reason. So I don't know how good I'm going to be at TikToks. You should probably head over there now and see as many of my videos as you can before they end up all getting taken down or I'm really rubbish at them. Oh, who knows? Anyway, today we are going to be making an origami bag. Let me go get the one that I made earlier. Here is one that I made earlier. So I need a massive bag for the lunch boxes and for the water bottles, not because my children are lazy and can't be bothered to carry their own stuff, but because they're not allowed bags at school yet. Still, can you believe it? We've been, what, year and a half, they're still not allowed backpacks into school, which is so irritating. So anyway, we end up filling this guy up with lunch boxes and water bottles and book bags and anything else that we need, and I head on off. What do you think? So this is actually an origami style bag. So as you can see, it's got the line down there and it's made, apart from this bit, it's made from one piece of fabric. One piece! How good is that? Oh well, I mean, unless you want it lined and then it's two. And today we're going to make a lined one as well. So technically it'll be two pieces of fabric, plus this bit at the top if you want it, so technically it'll be three. But the principle is one piece of fabric. I am going to show you, and we're going to do a step by step, because there's a little bit in it where you have to do the actual origami, where you have to fold everything, and that can be like a little bit technical. It's not technical, it's just a bit tricky to get your head around. So if you want to watch that bit, I would just like skip forward a few minutes, or if you want to watch me do the whole thing, then let's go. So the principle behind the origami bag is that because you're making it out of one piece and you have to fold it accordingly, if you want to get it into a square, you need to use the 3-to-1 method. So the 3-to-1 method means you have whatever width you need and then you times it by 3 to get the length. So for me, 26 times 3 is 78. Yes, I needed a calculator to work that out, and yes, I knew I would forget it between when I did it and now. So I had to write it on my hand in order to remember, because I'm really silly. I think this bigger one that I made was like a great deal bigger. I think this was about, I'd say, 1.5 meters long. So it was a really big old bit. So if you want to have a big bag, then you go for this, and then you'll see how small this comes up in comparison. But yeah, basically the rule is 3-to-1, and then you'll be able to make your shapes out of it. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is to put good sides together. Oh wait, is that a good side? That's a good side. There we go. So good side to good side, and then we're going to sew around the outside, and we're going to leave a little bit of a gap so that we can turn it all inside out. And then once we've turned it all inside out, we're going to go around again just to really neaten off the edges and top stitch it across the top. We don't need to leave a gap when you're top stitching, you just need to leave a gap to turn it inside out. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we have our piece of fabric. I sewed around the edges, turned it inside out and top stitched along the outside. Now comes the foldy bit. So I want this to be the inside of the bag, so all the mucky stuff's going to be on here. So what I'm going to do is flip it over so that the outside is facing up, okay? So get your right sides of fabric and then we're going to fold. So what you need to do is to take the right hand corner at the top and you need to fold it down to make a triangle. Ta-da! You then need to work to the left, take the bottom left, flip it, make a triangle. So you should have 2 triangles in opposite directions. On the third fold, what you need to do is imagine that you have an imaginary line through here and you're going to take this right corner and you're going to fold the fabric on that line. Are you ready? And there you have the constructs of the bag. Should we do that again? Okay, so a bit quicker. Right corner down, left corner up, imaginary line, take your right edge and fold it over. And you have a bag. So then what you need to do after that is, you see these seams here? We're going to attach those together. So pin them together, she says. Just quickly pop one in there and then flip it over. Realign them so that they match up nicely. So you should only have one seam on each side to sew. And then you have the constructs of a bag. Okay, so I have sewn the seams together on both sides and we have the shapes of a bag. Now, there are 2 ways that you can deal with this. You can either just put your handles together and have a nice bag, although it'll be on the inside out. So we'll spin it round. So you can pop your handles together and use it as a nice bag. Alternatively, which is what I'm going to do, you can square off the corners to make it a bit bulkier. Now, the way that I square off corners, there is a magic way where you have to find the centre and do amazing things with it and use set squares and maths and all the rest of it. But as we've already established, maths is not my forte. I can count to 4 and that's because I have 4 kids. I can count to 6 if we're in the supermarket, that's about it. So what I do is and plus this helps because we're using squares anyway, I have just, did you see me do that then? So it starts off as a bag, as the bag, and then you find the corner that you want to square off, you turn it into the right shape, so that's now a square, and all I'm going to do is measure down, let me see, so 2 inches or about 5 centimetres. So I'm going to measure 5 centimetres, put a pin in where I'm going to mark along my line, so I'm going to sew along here so it will look like that, and then we're going to do the same bloop, on the other corner. So 5 centimetres. The thing is, because you're going to be using your own measurements, all of this is completely up to you. You can customise it whatever size you want, whatever length you want, all the rest of it, and you can decide whether to make it more of a boxy bag or whether to just keep it as it is. The choice is yours. Oh, I'm also, whilst I'm at the machine, going to start work on my handle. So this is just a 10 centimetre square piece of fabric. You can tidy the edges to make it like that, and then you're going to sew along, fidgety fingers, sew along the side there to make a tube. We'll turn it inside out and then I'll show you from there. Okay? Right, so squared off my corners, turned my bag inside out, and you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Ta-da! Now I have made a little tidy for the handle, but you can also make it in a contrasting colour. I'm just looking to see if I've got any of the old fabric left. So that as a handle cover would also look really cute, I think, but which is what I've done with this one, is I've made it contrasting. So it's up to you which one you'd like, but for now, because I've made it, we're using this. So what we need to do is we need to slip this on to the handle tie. These, by the way, are going to be the handles. So we slip it on. Come here, you fucker. Voila. So I've popped it through onto there, and now what we're going to do, we'll yank it down out of the way a minute. We'll take the other handle and we are going to sew those two together. Now I would recommend sewing because you can see where they've gone covered together, that it makes a square. So I would recommend doing a square along all those four edges and then doing a cross in the middle as well, just to make sure that it's really tight. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so here is my little square. Can you see that properly? Also, I'm really sorry about all the road noise. It seems to be a busy day on the building site today, and they just all keep going past my house, having a wonderful time. That is the square, and then you just pull the cover over and you have yourself a little bag. How awesome! She says, as massive lorries go past. I'm going to pop my purse in and a book. I would put the kids' lunch boxes in, but they're at school with the kids, so I can't test to see whether they will fit them in. But to be honest, I think I might just put their lunch, instead of using their actual lunch boxes, I might just put their lunch in there. So this is the small handheld size, and that was 78 by 26. This is the massive size, which is about 150 by 50. So up to you, whichever size you want to go for, but just remember to use the rule of 3, and also remember to do your triangles nice and sharply. Okay, if you do make an origami bag with this tutorial, please, please, please tag me. My Instagram handle is Create and Curate UK. So please, please tag me in your Instagram posts so that I can see all your bags, because that would be really, really nice. Or if you do a video on it, then let me know in the comments, or a blog post or anything. Pop it down in the comments and then everyone can find it, and we can all be like a big community of origami bag lovers together. Okay guys, thank you so much for coming to watch me. As always, I will see you soon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and do the things of all the things that we do, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.